Well, all these videos I'm making, they're really changing nothing, are they? Talking is changing nothing. We need action to stop Israel's genocide in Gaza. And I can't tell you how you should react to your government's complicity, because most of our governments, if not all, are complicit in Israel's genocide in Gaza. I can't tell you how to react to that, except to say if you haven't done some of these things, maybe you could consider doing them now. Talk to your local MP, senator, congressman, political representative, whomsoever, and point out that you're just not very happy with it and you're not going to vote for parties in the future who support genocide. You could try that. Boycott. BDS, boycott, don't buy anything produced by Israel and possibly produced by those countries supporting Israel's genocide in Gaza. So that would mean not buying things coming from Germany, the US, the UK, and obviously the Zionist entity itself. BDS, boycott, divestment, sanctions. March peacefully, not violently. If you get violent, you give the Zionists and their supporters an excuse to say, look at these animals, look at them. They're all violent. They're all violent supporters of violent savages. Don't give them that excuse. What else could you do? Talk about it in places where people say you shouldn't talk about it. So I had an aunt attack me for talking about the genocide on Facebook, because it's supposed to be our happy little escape where we post and look at pictures of our pets, cats and dogs, other people's food, people's trips, and we don't talk about anything that might make people feel a little bit uncomfortable, even if they're not going to be as uncomfortable as children having their limbs removed without anesthesia, people being burnt to death in nylon tents. They think they're uncomfortable, having to see what's going on in Gaza. Imagine living through what's happening in Gaza. So bum rush those places and spaces where you're not supposed to talk about what's going on, and talk about what's going on, whether just with words or make your own daft, silly videos like this one, what I am doing now. Hopefully you won't have a big pink face that looks like ham, as I do. What else? I mean, I can't say take direct action because that's been, criminalized now in the UK and many places. That group, whose name I can't even mention, initials PA, rhymes with Palestine faction. That group, who were putting red paint, who got in trouble for putting red paint on an RAF plane, because the RAF, the Royal Air Force of the UK, has been flying out of a base in Akrotiri, Cyprus, to provide surveillance, to provide information to the Zionist entity to help it with its genocide. And the aforementioned group, initials PA, that I can't mention, they've been deemed to be a terrorist group on a par with ISIS, Al-Qaeda, whoever. And being in that group or showing support for that group can now get you 14 years in jail. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the right to protest. My arse, your rights are being stripped away. Even if you don't think that you want to support the Palestine cause, the fact they're taking away the rights of people supporting the Palestine cause means they might come for rights that you value next. Okay? You might not be able to protest about that issue that concerns you next, because to use a cliche, it's a slippery slope, isn't it? So I can't say take direct action, but I can't say I will condemn you if you do. Anyway, coming up on 5 minutes, I turned off the AC because it's a little noisy, and I wanted you to hear my sexy dulcet tones as well as you can. That's a joke, by the way. My voice is no sexier than my face. Anyway, so it's hot here. I gotta get back in a air-conditioned space or more likely a space with a fan blowing on me, because that's cheaper and better for the environment, because all these issues are connected. Environmental justice is connected to the rights of people not to be genocided. And environmental runaway climate change will affect people in the global south overwhelmingly, who did little to create the problem. Anyway, 5.5 minutes of waffling on is over. All that remains to say is free, free Palestine. From the river to the sea. Let's hope in our lifetimes Palestine will be free. Thank you.